What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing okay. Your 2021 is off to a okay start considering everything. But yeah, just thinking more about Trump and Trumpism and thinking about what a lost opportunity it was. I mean, what he did was amazing and remarkable, unprecedented, really, when you think about it and really analyze it. And just a lost opportunity, and crashing and burning is also unprecedented. And I don't really know why it happened. I mean, I kind of know what's transpired to make it happen, but I don't understand the point or the goal or the motivation behind it all. You know, and I think that's the enigma of Trump. You know, in 2016, I thought I would never doubt the man, because he did the impossible, right? We thought we were stuck with Madame Hillary as president. Like, it was inevitable. It was imminent. And then this crazy clown flies by the seat of his pants, prevents all that from happening, you know? So that's what made me a believer. You know, I say Trump has basically trolled everybody. He's got an emotional reaction out of everybody, whether it's euphoria, outrage, disgust, disappointment, the whole gamut of positive and negative emotions. So in that way, he's gotten a reaction out of virtually everybody. I mean, who's ho-hum about Trump? You know what I mean? I mean, not many people. I'll never forget, I was on a cross-country trip, and I'm driving through Arizona, and this Hispanic dude dressed up, you know, like a cowboy, that type of style. I'm just getting, like, you know, a coffee at McDonald's, just driving on my way, taking a pit stop, and he's like, hey man, who you voting for? You know, it was, the primaries hadn't even begun, or it was just early campaigning, you know? And I'm like, I don't know, man, not really too worried about it, just trying to get my coffee and, you know, be on my way on my road trip. And the guy goes, you know, I'm all about Trump, which kind of surprised me, right? Because I didn't know at that point Trump would have a lot of Hispanic fans, which he does, still does, probably. So that kind of surprised me. And then during the primaries, you know, it's like, well, I don't know who I want. There's kind of a drawback to everybody. I think I was kind of a Cruz guy, or maybe, I don't think I really liked anybody else. I think I was about Cruz. You know, and Trump, it's like, I don't know, he shows some promise, but I also think he's borderline crazy, insane, and he kind of scares me a little bit too, right? But it's like, eventually, if you don't want Hillary, and you don't want the Democrats controlling, you don't want like a quasi-socialist takeover with the squad or Hillary or Bernie types, you're like, well, you know, whatever Trump doesn't have, or whatever concerns I have, yeah, you know, I'm gonna push those aside, because yeah, we can't have Comrade Hillary or Comrade Bernie taking over, you know what I mean? So I guess I sold my soul for Trump, but many people did the same thing, or they didn't sell their soul, they were emphatic for him. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed. You know, like, the less extreme people, they're disappointed in what's happened. Yeah, there's some true believers that still believe the election was stolen and are firmly behind Trump, you know. But yeah, those people, I don't know, I hope they come to their senses eventually, because it's like the whole point of our democracy is it's supposed to be bigger than any one person, right? and people are scared, they're concerned, they're outraged, and it seems like a lot of people either explicitly, I mean, not a lot of people, like maybe a lot numerically, but small percentage-wise, a bunch of people, I should say, want to get rid of that system. They think it's a threat to their well-being or their way of life, the American way of life. And I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to see that. The people are so scared, they're so outraged that they would take a risk with dictator Trump over, what's going to happen with the Democrats, what's going to happen if we sort of go back to the status quo. And that's pretty concerning. Like, I think it's counterproductive to persecute these Trumpists, these MAGA people, or even QAnon people that are even more extreme. I feel like the right approach is to have conversations with them, try to understand them, try to inject some common sense and less extreme views into their viewpoint. Because I feel like I went down the wrong road a little bit. I'm not like a Pizzagate person or a Stop the Steal person or a QAnon person, but I'm one of those people that was definitely afraid of Hillary. Like, oh, we can't have Hillary, we can't have Biden even. I'm afraid of President Kamala administration, that type of thing. So I don't know, it's really disappointing what's happened, but you live and you learn, you make mistakes, you move on. But honestly, I don't even know what I would do in hindsight. Like, I wouldn't vote for Hillary. I don't believe in voting third party from a practical standpoint, because I feel like it's taking the easy way out, if you will. It's not voting, it's not throwing your vote away as far as expressing your viewpoint or morally, but it's throwing your vote away as far as the practicalities of an election. Like, leftists would love nothing more than to have the conservative vote split, or vice versa. So that's why I don't believe in it as a practical means. I feel like you got to make the hard choice between Hillary and Trump, between Trump and Biden. But I feel like if you're a dedicated Republican and you vote for in the primaries you vote for somebody other than Trump, and then you're like, well, I'm a Republican voter, so I'm voting for Trump. I think that's more understandable. So whatever, everyone makes mistakes. And Luke Ford had a good rant the other day, talking about how he didn't believe in raiding the Capitol, and how people who believe in such craziness, his acronym, or his metaphor was, they believe in death, I believe in life, changing things for the better, not burning everything down. It's a good analogy, because, well, it's not necessarily they believe in physical death and destruction, but the analogy is they believe in tearing things down because they're that unhappy with life. And I think that's counterproductive, but you got to understand how people come to have that viewpoint. And kind of running out of battery here, but I'll go for as long as I can. There's a Twitter purge, social media purges, because there's a lot of extremists on there, and the more milquetoast conservatives are getting looped in because they doubted the election, which spurred on more of the crazy people. So people are really concerned about censorship, because censorship is never done. Censorship, whatever, social media purges, they're never done perfectly. Even if you agree that some people should be kicked off. I mean, they always fuck that up. So what presents, I'm less worried about voices being silenced, because the Twitter has to tread carefully. They can't just ban all conservatives. I mean, they can, but it would be a big hit to their business. And it presents really an opportunity to develop competing platforms and a suite of platforms, you know, the whole shebang, the social media, the Twitter, the payment processors, a freestanding independent entity that would have, you know, conservative voices where they can feel safe. So I'm less worried about that than some people, because I don't feel like Twitter has, even as a so-called quasi-monopoly, they don't have free reign to just do whatever they want. I really don't feel like they have that ability. So I think that'll evolve, and you know, maybe the conservatives will get together and establish. Parler got shut down, so obviously it's a challenge. But I think they got to establish their own freestanding suite of platforms to prevent from being kicked off, prevent from being deplatformed. So, you know, similar to Rush Limbaugh establishing the EIB network, which I guess the only way he could be deplatformed is if his advertisers stop advertising there. But look, the bigger you have a critical mass of people that establish an independent presence, the stronger and more independent it's going to be. So they won't have to answer to the Apples and the Googles of the world. So I don't know. Those are just a couple, you know, there's like an unlimited amount of takes and thoughts to be had this week, but those are just some things off the top of my head right now. And it's good to see leftists be for law and order. You know, since AOC had to run out of the room and like her shoes were stolen, it's good to see that, you know, she wants law and order now. You know, so I hope this is a new trend where everyone says, okay, we're against raiding, rioting, looting, and burning shit down. So welcome to the club. It's sad it took this to make that happen, but I hope that's the way it is now. And yeah, our nation was established through violent revolution, through protests, demonstrations, and rioting, etc. War. But it doesn't mean every cause to resist violently to try to potentially overthrow the government or prevent its operation is legitimate. And if you lose, you're going to face the full consequences of the winning side. That's what would have happened to the founding fathers. If they had lost, they would have been beheaded or hung, right? Or drawn and quartered. I don't know what they would have done. So that's why, but the check and balance there is, you would have to have a large proportion of the country to have a successful uprising and rebellion. So if you just have a couple crazies, you know, you're going to lose and suffer the consequences. And, you know, that's just the way it is. If you're 5% of the population and you try to overthrow the government, the other 95%, and you most will definitely lose that confrontation, that battle, you know, you're going to suffer the full consequences, which in this case is federal prison for the people that did it. So it's a lot better than other regimes. You know, what do you think would happen if you try to do that to Assad or Saddam? You know, I wouldn't want to know. But I guess it doesn't matter whether you consider it legitimate or illegitimate. If it loses, you're gonna suffer the full consequences. So you better be sure you make it legitimate, and you win. Otherwise, you're just gonna be a martyr for some probably stupid cause, like the people that raided the White House, the Capitol. But it is shocking that a bunch of, I mean, when you look at the crowd, it looks pretty fucking scary. There's a lot of people, and they look mad, and they look like a angry swarm of bees, right? But it is remarkable that a bunch of people with like flags stormed the Capitol and were able to successfully take it over. I mean, it's kind of scary, right? Like any group of people that outnumbers the police, like that's the most important building in our country, the Capitol building. More so than the White House, more so than any other building. That's where our government is effectively run out of, for the most part. And it was effectively taken over by people that were unarmed. So it's pretty remarkable and surprising. But anyway, those are my thoughts for today. I'm sure I'll make more videos, etc., etc. But everyone be well, stay out of trouble. Don't raid the inauguration. Find something better to do. Take care.